Yeah. The other thing, oh, what was I just listening to the other day? And I was like, oh, it was something on Gaia. Anyway, the guy was saying like, like in between lives, like, like the purpose of our life, you always think like, what's the purpose? What's my mission?
Yeah, what's my mission? Yeah.
He's like, it's just to remember, because he goes, the thing is like in between lives, like we get sucked back into, he was talking about how we come back in like reincarnation. We just keep coming back into like kind of like a prison, although he called it that, but then didn't call it that. He's like, you could make it a prison or you could make it like paradise, depending on your choosing for experiences. And so, but he was like, at some point you can go out when you're done and just be like, I'm not going to come. Like, I want to be somewhere else. Like, I want to move on, or
I'm done with that chapter.
Like you're not going to forget anymore. And I don't want to forget anymore. I think that's my whole thing.
So you're like, you want to be a witness, like a witness that remembers yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Or at least, I don't know. I think
but I feel like the ways to like, so, okay, I think the techniques are going to be like meditation. I do think that like a lot of people are not into plant medicines, but I do think that they do a physical exposure to other consciousness, which is valuable. And it also,
absolutely,
I think, teaches you how to navigate altered states, even.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I think like learning how to be a better dreamer. I think all these elements are really important. And we have to figure out how to really, really decalcify and open our third eyes.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that will be, I don't know. I know that telepathy is half here and it's coming.
Oh, telepathy. Yes, that was my other thought this week. Oh, did I write that about telepathy?
You said we should, no, on the voicemail, you said we need to start working on telepathy. And I was going to say,
yes.
Like, I didn't write you back because I was in the middle of nowhere and it was hard for me to write you back. But I was going to say, like, we need to come up with a protocol, like our own. Like, we don't have to care what anybody else thinks, but like, we should probably think about some kind of, like, what we actually intuitively think might help build that muscle. And start practicing it together.
You mean the telepathy muscle, or like
muscle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. All I know is that like for me, oh yeah, when I was with my friend the other day with her friend, she was like, one of the ladies was like, oh, like telepathy. She's like, I'm not there yet, because I don't remember why she said that, but I was thinking, no, this whole thing with a stay at home and like, social, whatever, distancing, I think that this is the other thing. Like, this is the turning point of where we're going to be getting into the telepathic age, because it makes sense, because there's going to be a point where we have to communicate like that. Like, and so we're just starting to get into that, but I mean, it's been coming. It's not like that.
It has been coming, and we've been feeling it coming. Right. But it's like, now I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I need to do some thinking on like exercises that'll open it up.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't really know how to do it. Like, how do you, like, what is telepathy?
Yeah, and the thing is like, I'm done like reading posts written by some 21-year-old dude on Reddit or something who's just like, you got to do this. I mean, no, or something online. It's like, I think we're forefronting this,
Right.
So we got to figure out the methodology to use.
Yeah.
Like, and nobody else has any more authority than us, right? So like, you might as well just figure out like, okay, well,
right. That's true.
Yeah.
What works, but also, and like, what would be the purpose of us doing telepathy, and what would we want to communicate? I guess maybe like, what would be the purpose of it, because there's some things that I wouldn't want everybody to know everything all the time.
No, you don't want to be an open channel. You want to be able to like turn on and turn off, and you want to be able to receive when you want to receive and transmit when you want to transmit. So it's way more efficient than regular talking. And like, it doesn't even just have to be like Danielle, I am talking to you in your head right now. Oh, why, Nikki, hello. Thanks for talking to me in my head right now.
Right. It's not like a phone
I'm
call
about to eat some beans. Oh, really? No, I mean, but it can be like sending I mean, it could even just be like blanket downloads of thought, blanket downloads of imagery, or, like, oh, this is an interesting concept right here. Like when the little ants do that thing, they're not going like, hey, how are you? You know what? Over there's some honey. Oh, is it? Oh, great. Thank you. Yeah. Just to your left.
Yeah, they're just, boom.
They're just like, bleh.
Yeah, zapping. And also they're transmitting, well, I don't know what they're transmitting, but like in our case, I think that telepathy should be transmitting a message and a feeling with the message, because that's part of the telepathy. So much gets lost in words. And so, like we're limited by words and maybe our nonverbal communication to an extent, but like telepathy will pick up the feeling behind the message, the real, like the whole picture.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's also, I hate how this kind of works like this sometimes, but I'm kind of figuring out that like a lot of these people, when they're talking to their higher selves or when they're like psychic or whatever, it's basically just really being confident and knowing how to trust your inner voice that you talk with inside your brain all the time, and cleaning that up. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like what's happening to a lot of them. And it's like, it is yourself talking to yourself, but it's like doing it with confidence and without
it's like the better
outside
version
manipulations.
Of yourself. Yeah. Like the truest sense of yourself, maybe.
Mm.
Yeah. Or like higher because it's like clearer or more evolved, or I don't know.
Well, but when you're in the muck of society and you're thinking like about whatever you're spoon fed, I think that your inner voice becomes like your lower voice in a lot of ways. So it really is just becoming sovereign, being your own thing, your own person, your own authority, and then learning how to listen to that and be cool with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's true. You have to just.
But then you're just kind of like, well, I've been here the whole time and I'm just now figuring it out.
Right. But also, like, okay, so going back to the telepathy thing, what would we be wanting to communicate? What would be the purpose of using telepathy over voice?
Like, I mean, I think that like telepathy will open other consciousnesses. It'll open other dimensions for other people. I think it'll be like, if there's any kind of case of emergency or something, like all the cell phones get taken down in a coronal mass ejection or something, it's like we can still communicate and we can like align things and coordinate things. And I don't know, I just think it's like, I've felt it with other beings, experienced it with other beings, and it's just like a way more efficient way of communicating, and it's where we're going to evolve to anyway.
Right. Well, yes, I had that experience, like have had telepathic experiences as well. But I just meant like as a main form of, communication. But I guess we have a long ways to go before we're.
Yeah, I'm like going like, let's get a card right first, Danielle.
Right.
What's the point of talking all the time? And it's like, well, no. I'm just saying like, let's first like just like open that muscle, and then like once the muscle's open and like once you get way better with it, and that's the other thing, if there's only two people that have cell phones, it's not going to be very fun. You have to like hopefully it's like we got to figure out protocols that other people could do too, where we can help we got to figure out how this can become more universal.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, exactly. Because right now, with all the other messages and calcification of our pineal gland, like we're not picking up those messages because there's just too much other interference.
Well, and it's like you said, where basically what I'm thinking is, it's like when you're attaching an emotion with this thought or whatever, there's so much less misunderstanding that can happen when you understand someone's truest intentions and their emotions. Whereas in real life, like half of miscommunication is we misinterpret like this person's like doing me wrong, or this person is, you know, like victimizing me or perpetrating me or whatever. Like we get into these roles, but they're all like because of what we're thinking, which usually you have to assume that most people's intentions aren't always bad.
Right, exactly. Or it's not about you. Like it was like, why did this person do this to me? They didn't do it to you. You're interpreting it like that, like you said.
Yeah, which if we were able to communicate telepathically, there a lot of that would be cleared up.
Yeah. And and also we'd be able to see better through the real message. Like if a person is telling you something, but they actually don't mean it, or if somebody says like, what's wrong? And somebody says nothing's wrong and you know something's wrong, like you would, you know, be able to clearly understand what was wrong.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't know. So what kind of techniques could we use? I don't know. I don't even know. I'd have to go look at some of those like blogs you were talking about in order to get an idea of that. I feel like I can't think of anything right now, except for maybe like what we've already done, like, you know, kind of meditate on something and then put it in like an envelope. I could put something in an envelope for you and send you a message and you can try to receive and you send me and I try to receive.
Yeah. I mean, we could definitely start with those kinds of meditations. I mean, like sending colors once a day, or sending like something, like sending a number between this or that, or picking a card and deciding, hey, which card did I pick? I mean, we could start those again, but then it's also, but besides that, we have to have some sort of like feeling of what it feels like to understand somebody else's thought waves. I don't know how to do that, but like, I mean, I think you have to really know your own thought waves in order to receive other radio channels.
Yeah.
You have to know what's not yours.
Right.
Which is hard because we have so much going around us all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Or like how empaths pick up other people's feelings and kind of make it their own when it's really, when they realize that it's actually not their own, it's somebody else's feeling, but they've taken it on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that kind of stuff too is like hard to like straighten out what's really my thought and like what am I communicating. Yeah, I don't know where to begin exactly.
Well, we'll think on it. We'll meditate on it and think on it and figure it out. Yeah, I think we should do that for sure. But yeah,
so my friend sent me this thing like for 21 days, like it's a 21-day what's his name?
Deepak Chopra or Chopra.
Yeah.
Deepak, yeah.
It's like a 21-day meditation and with a group through this WhatsApp group. And I don't know, like I'm only into day 5, but I kind of feel like I want to bail. Like I was doing all right with it, but I feel like, I don't know. It was about abundance.
Yeah. Okay. I've done that one. Maybe I don't know if I've done that one or not. I've done a couple of the Oprah Deepak, like I had the app for a while, and then I would do their 21 days whenever they were free. And he's good, but I don't like listening to Oprah talk for.
Oh, well, Oprah's not on this one.
She's on that one. It's just him. But the problem with me is it's like the same thing over and over again. And for me, it doesn't, I don't really benefit so much from just sitting in silence. Like he'll walk you through, he'll give you a mantra and they'll be like, Sat Nam, Sat Nam. And then he leaves you alone for like 15 minutes every time. And that's really good. I think a lot of people like do benefit from that. But what for me, I've tried that. I tried that method. I like more of like our kind of meditations where you walked through the whole time, you know? Yeah. And I think maybe we could get better at that, like especially with me, like giving more space or something. But I want to listen to like more guided meditations or like those Akashic record ones where you walk down something or whatever.
Yeah. But, yeah, I like those too because I think you're right because I was like, I feel like I was taking time away from, I was doing Joe Dispenza's ones and those are really long. They're like 45 minutes to over an hour meditation.
But those are what we're talking about in terms of the whole thing is a walk meditation.
that's what I like about it. And I feel like I come out like really focused. Or when I do my meditations by myself, like my own mantras or like whatever, I can really, really focus. But with this one, I don't feel that connected to it. And I know it's somewhat kind of maybe my resistance to it because I started it over vacation and I was just like, I didn't like you had to draw something, like open up your notebook and like write down people's names. And I was like, you know what? I don't really feel like doing this. And so I was resistant to these exercises.
But you helped me out really a lot when you said, like, during one of that one thing where we were talking about meditation or whatever, you were like, we're not monks. We don't, like, there's not a one size fits all thing for this.
Right.
It's not like the only way is Vipassana, or our only way is if you're doing, you have to get into transcendental meditation or your life isn't going to be amazing. Like, that's just what it is. That's not how it works. So I think it is, if it's not working for you, don't feel guilty, Belling. Just be like,
Yeah, I know. I was excited. I was like, yeah, thanks for sharing, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden I was like day 3, I was like, I don't feel like doing this. And I wanted to start it later. Anyway, I feel like I should just do it because I signed up for a type of thing. And like, I mean, partially because like at the end you have to send like done day 3 done.
Oh, yeah.
So everyone sees, I mean,
like your accountability for it or whatever.
Yeah, like your accountability, exactly. So I feel like I want to do it just for that reason. So I'm like, whatever. It's not.
I mean, it's not gonna 3 weeks. It's not gonna hurt you doing it.
Right, exactly. That's what I was like.
But at the same time, it's like, don't feel pressured. Like,
if I did, yeah.
If you don't, like, whatever, like.
Yeah, true. All right, I gotta go check on Sabino. I don't know if I.
Yeah, poor baby. I can't believe he's got the flu during all this like, corona stuff. Yeah, that's like pretty bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's flu season here, whatever.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, even that lady on the news today, whenever Trump was giving I watched the state of emergency address because I was like, okay, what's this thing about? And he had, I don't remember what she was some kind of, maybe she was head of the CDC or center, I don't know, something, but she was talking about how, also just be diligent that this is normal flu season and cold season, and people, just because you have symptoms doesn't mean you necessarily have the coronavirus. We will do testing for them as well, but like, she's like, also just take care in general, because there's other sicknesses that are still always with us.
Right, exactly, which is why it's kind of annoying, because you're just like everyone, like if you sneeze, people are like, yeah. And meanwhile you're like, we survive like the colds and whatever every day, we're most likely we'll be fine.
And we get new mutations every year of new colds, new flus, new whatever.
I know.
New viruses. And
I know, and then I started
much of it.
I know. That's what I was like. Well, hopefully Sabino's just like getting his immune system going, and like it's helpful in the long run. I was watching this thing on the bubonic plague. Oh my God, that was crazy. I was like, shit. I think that one was like.
See, that's the thing, is like that. Like, that
I don't want to be fear based.
That one killed off like a third,
almost half the population.
Yeah, and people got like giant boils. Like, black boils that would like burst underneath their arms and neck and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why Ebola scared me, because Ebola was like, people were bleeding out their eyes and like getting all this like just crazy stuff like that. This one is like, you have a dry cough, no runny nose associated with it.
Right. Well, they have. You can get pneumonia.
Right, but it's basically just a cold or influenza, maybe. But it's no new symptoms. Like, you're not going to get like black eyeballs and stuff like that. Right.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, that's true. Your glands are not going to explode, hopefully. Oh my God, that was crazy. Anyway, I was telling my mom this. I didn't tell you this, but I was listening to this like astrology thing podcast, and they were saying that the time, like right now we're in, I forgot, Pluto aligned Saturn or something like that. Mm-hmm. And the same exact pattern that was happening, the last time it happened like this was when the US, pretty much when the US became a country. So there was all this rebellion and like all this uneasiness, and like finally, like, you know, the colonies just were like, no, we're going to become a country, revolution, bam. So there was that type of turmoil. And then before that, the last time was like when Calvin, what's his name, did the schism in the church, the Calvinism.
Oh yeah, where it's like the Protestant.
Oh, it was Martin Luther. Sorry,
Martin
but yeah,
Luther.
the Martin Luther. Yeah, so that was the last time, and the church divided. That was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then the time before, and then he also said that there was some similarity between the ending of the Dark Ages with the plague, actually, with that same plague, but it wasn't exactly the same time, but it was like at the end of a similar cycle.
Cycle. Well, it's interesting because like I was reading an article, I meant to send it to you, but it was in Colombia, and so my internet was very limited. But it was about how during all this, in the last 8 months or something, the solar energy technology has done like 80% improvement, and no one's talking about it.
Oh, that's why we're going into the oil and the whole gas plunges of, oh, that makes sense.
Like the efficiency of it and everything is just it done a big giant leap forward. And then like I didn't get to read I still need to read your anti-gravity article that you sent me.
Yeah, I forgot about that article. I should go read it again. I don't remember.
Yeah, because I know that they did like do patents for that have come out for that recently. The government put patents on anti-gravity. So like that's,
right.
Which is like, oh my God, if we actually could do anti-gravity crafts, like that could revolutionize the flying industry and the way in which they currently work, and could be a major,
Yeah, and like, I don't know, something's gonna have to change, but yeah, that makes sense.
It's interesting because like you think that things don't happen quickly, but dude, when I was in the 8th grade, there was no such thing as cell phones.
Right.
I mean, there was, but they were like the size of bricks, and they weren't efficient.
Yeah, exactly. No, everything happens very quickly, and this whole change thing is just like a fall. It really is a falling of a system. The whole system is collapsing before our eyes, which is hard in the process. I think it's good too. I think it is good. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, because I'm like, are we going to have like shortages of food?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have birthing pains for sure at some point.
That's what I figured.
Something new will happen, and it'll be like, oh yeah, cool, this is what it is.
Well, hopefully, yeah. I mean, it's a little scary to think, really, because, there's like locusts flying around Africa right now, like destroying crops, like, like Bible
level
type of
I haven't heard that
proportions.
One. My gosh.
Oh yeah. This has been going on for a while. I think it's partial in Kenya. I don't know what other countries, but like they're destroying crops. So I was like, so if something like that could happen.
People really we need to get back to like everybody having some form of your own garden. So you eat a certain percentage of your own stuff. I mean, like that's how the world used to be for forever, until industrial farming became a thing, which was like, I don't know, like really in the 1900s sometime. So, but before that, like even people who weren't farmers, even people who were in cities still had like herbs and they had certain things that they grew themselves.
Right.
And we have gotten so disconnected from our food source. It's not cool.
Yep. Yeah. Have you ever seen those like memes that are like, gardening is revolutionary, like that is what it is, that's doing a revolution is just being independent, being as much independent as you can from the system, pretty much, but from the matrix, I guess. But it's obviously impossible to be 100%, or
but you don't even have to be 100%, just like,
exactly.
This is me talking to future me. Go do a greenhouse, like plant something.
Exactly.
Like
totally.
I need to do it too. It's like I'm talking about it, but I'm not doing it. Like I don't.
Well, that's why I was like, if I go to Porto, I'm just gonna see if I can buy land in the next couple of years and just start planting trees. Exactly, planting trees and
forest.
Exactly, permaculture. Yep.
All right, Miss Danielle, it was good.